This week's anchor text is an informational text, and we can find that looking at the genre over here on the left-hand side. Informational text is in bold. It gives facts about a topic. As you read, look for photos and captions, facts and details about a topic. Our title, Schools Around the World. Let's meet the author. Margaret C. Hall. Margaret C. Hall has written many non-fiction books for children. Her books include topics ranging from national parks to mallard ducks. Schools Around the World is part of a series of books she wrote. Other books in the series include Homes Around the World and Games Around the World. Our essential question: how are some schools different from each other? Our first heading, Schools Around the World. All around the world, children go to school. Some children spend most of their day at school. Others spend only a few hours there. Schools are different in different parts of the world, but they are all the same in one way. Schools are where children go to learn. And we have two different photographs with captions. We have 4 different pictures. Right here it says some school buildings in Asia are tall, like this one. And I'll zoom in. This is a 3-story building. Most of ours are just 1 story, which means that we don't even need stairs to get anywhere. It says right over here, these students in an American classroom start their day by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a boy over here reading. And then let's look at this amazing school fact. A long time ago, a German man started a new kind of school. He thought that small children should grow like flowers in a garden. He called his school Kindergarten. The word means children's garden in German. Think to yourself, did you go to kindergarten? Our next heading is in orange, school buildings. The kind of school buildings children have depends on where they live. It depends on the climate and the resources of their community. School buildings can be large or small. They can be made from many different materials. Some children even go to school outside or in buildings with no walls. Remember, so when they talk about that, going to school in buildings with no walls, that depends on the climate. Right here in Michigan, we have so much snow outside and it's pretty cold. We don't have the type of climate to have buildings with no walls, right? Let's look at our photograph right up here. It says these students in Tibet, China, are about to start their morning classes. They have the type of climate, right? Right out here, where they are, have a different type of building. We can see mountains in the background. Our amazing school fact. Schools have been around for thousands of years. The first schools were started to teach children about their culture. Our next heading, getting to school. Children travel to school in many different ways. The kind of transportation they use depends on where they live. It also depends on how far they have to go. Many children walk or ride bicycles to school. Others ride in cars, on buses, or on a train. Some children go to school by boat. How do you get to school? Here is our amazing school fact. In some places, children live too far away from their school to go there. Teachers give lessons over the radio or by using computers that are hooked up to the school. I'm kind of taking a look at this photograph and I'm kind of wondering if this could be updated. This looks a little outdated in the technology department. Also the fact of teachers giving lessons over the radio. That seems a little outdated, right? I think that could be updated. That kind of makes me giggle a little bit. Our next heading, school clothing. Children around the world wear different kinds of clothes to school. What they wear often depends on the climate where they live. It also depends on what season it is. In some schools, the students all dress alike. They wear uniforms. Students from different schools have different uniforms. Do you know somebody who goes to a school where they have to wear a uniform? You might. Right here, students at this girls' school in Panama wear blue skirts and sweaters as part of their uniforms. These girls also have on different uniforms. Our next heading, the school day. All around the world, teachers help students learn new things. Children do some schoolwork in groups. They do other schoolwork on their own. Most children eat lunch or a snack at school. They may also have time to play. At many schools, children take class trips too. This sounds very similar and familiar to us. These students in Germany are learning science on a class trip with their teachers. Looks like they're outside, which is a great place to learn about science and the world around us is outside. Our next heading, learning to read and write. One important job for teachers is to help children learn to read and write. Students learn to read and write in many different languages. The language children use at school depends on where they live. Some children study their own language and another language too. That is really important. The caption that goes along with this photograph says, "This teacher answers a question for his student at a school in Cuba." Other lessons. Children learn many things at school. All around the world, they study math and science. They learn about their own country and their countries too, and other countries too. Many children around the world study art and music in school. They may also learn how to use a computer. We have two photographs with captions. At an American school overseas, students study a map of Europe. It says these students in Great Britain practice playing music at school. I know many of you have told me that you want to practice playing an instrument someday. Oh, our next heading, school chores. Most children have chores to do at school. They help to keep the classroom neat and clean. They may even help to set up the classroom every day. In some places, children work to keep the schoolyard neat and clean. Some children may serve lunch to one another. Let's read the caption that goes along with this photograph. In this school in Japan, Students help serve lunch. Wow, what an important job. After school. Some children go to school even after the school day is over. They may have a tutor to help them with the subjects that are harder for them. Some children have other lessons after school. They study things they cannot learn in school. They may learn about dance, music, or their own culture. Our first photograph up here, let's read the caption. This teacher gives extra help to students after school. And our next picture, let's read the caption. These boys in Israel learn about their culture. Two important things to do after school. Special schools. Some children live at their schools. These schools are called boarding schools. The children go home for visits and on holidays. Would you like to do that? This girl cannot see. She goes to a school where she can learn to read and write in a special way. People who are blind read with their fingers. They use a system of raised dots called Braille. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see that she is using her fingers to read. She is feeling with her fingers. And that is what she's learning to do at the school. So she's learning to read, but just a different way. Our next heading, homeschooling. A home can also be a school. Some parents teach their children at home. They want to decide exactly what their children will learn. People at schools will often help parents plan home lessons for their children. Many children who study at home go to a school for gym or art classes. And the caption that goes along with this photograph, this mother is teaching her daughter at home. School and work. Some children work as performers. They spend part of their day practicing the work that they do. They spend the rest of the day studying regular school subjects. So let's see what that really means. Let's look at this photograph and read the caption. The students below perform a traditional Russian dance. So this means that when they work as performers, right, their job, right, is to work hard as dancers, maybe in ballet, right? And they still have to go to school though. So they have to learn to work, or they have to learn to balance doing their schoolwork and practicing something that they really love to do, like dance. Or gymnastics that we see from this photograph over here. And if we read the caption, this boy is learning gymnastics. They are both working and training and being very focused, but they also have to go to school at the same time. Amazing school fact. One of the subjects that was taught in ancient Greece was gymnastics. The ancient Greeks thought gymnastics was just as important to learn as math or reading. Wow, that is interesting. Older students. Many people go to school even after they are adults. They may go to college, or they may go to a trade school to learn how to do a certain job. Adults also take classes for fun. They study different languages and learn how to do things. No matter how old students are, they go to school to learn. This is very true. Let's read the heading, or let's read the caption that goes along with this photograph. These women in India go to school at night. Somebody might go to school at night because they work during the day, but they really want to go to school. So they go to school at night.